Budget Blinds. Visit their showroom or call today for a free in-home consultation.
This is Newcap News with Jeremy Thompson.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Lloydminster RCMP have released the latest list of most wanted suspects for the area. 41-year-old Sean Bertrand is wanted in connection with a break and enter. He's 5'9" with brown hair and green eyes and weighs about 200 pounds. Cody Dillon is wanted for break and enter, robbery, and failing to appear in court. The 20-year-old is 5'10", 166 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. And 30-year-old Adrian Patakin is 5'11" and just over 200 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. He's charged with driving while disqualified and failing to appear in court. A Vermilion woman and new grandmother is speaking out about what she says was an unacceptable and avoidable experience her daughter had at the Lloydminster Hospital. She says the ordeal left her daughter scarred, both emotionally and physically. Hannah Tita has more.
I'm not pleased with Lloyd. They darn near took my daughter's life.
Dawn Knudsehn is still searching for answers after complications from labor left her daughter hospitalized in Edmonton. Knudsehn says 23-year-old Chantel had a healthy pregnancy.
From this picture to what she looks like now is totally different.
Chantel went into labor on November 28th at the Lloydminster Hospital, but after some difficulties, the doctors determined she needed a C-section. Knudsehn says her daughter progressively got sicker after Wyatt's birth, but the family was told Chantel only had gas buildup and nature would take its course. Knudsehn says after requesting a transfer to Edmonton and being denied, Chantel was finally airlifted to the Misericordia Hospital on January 4th, where doctors there determined that she was severely infected.
They got her into the OR right away. It was a 3-hour procedure. They had to open her up and take out her organs and whatnot to clean them. Thankfully, they were able to save the bowel, the intestine, and the kidney. However, they couldn't save the uterus. They ended up having to do a hysterectomy on her.
Knudsehn says Chantel is scarred physically, emotionally, and mentally. She believes the ordeal could have been prevented.
The surgeon said as well that if she would have been left there for another 48 hours, within that 48 hours, we would not have Chantel here today.
Chantel is still recovering at the Misericordia, but all the trips back and forth from Edmonton have left the family's funds depleted. Knudsehn set up a GoFundMe page to help out Chantel and her boyfriend with the unexpected costs.
It's been 3 weeks. However, within that 3 weeks, a person doesn't notice how much they're going through until, oh my gosh, you know, we're in a bind. We're hoping that the infection, the infections in her stomach or wherever it is in there, will allow at least 2 days for her to be able to spend Christmas.
The family is prepared to spend Christmas in the hospital if circumstances don't allow Chantel to travel back to Vermilion. Hannah Tita, Newcap News.
Now, Chantel's boyfriend is planning to hire a lawyer to handle the situation, and we also have reached out to the Lloydminster Hospital for comment on the issue, and they have yet to respond. Well, many nonprofits in Lloydminster have received an early Christmas present. The city has approved the funding for the 2016 Family and Community Support Services Grant Program. Charitable organizations apply for the grant through the city and rely on the money to run programs throughout the year. Here's how it works. The city contributes 20% of the money, while the Alberta government puts up the other 80%. Councillor Larry Sauer says the funding has remained the same for at least the past 6 years, but this year it's gone up.
The new government has increased it by about $120,000, so that's very welcoming to for our charities.
A committee decides how the funds are to be allocated.
There's a criteria that comes from the province as well that they use, that these organizations have to meet. They review that and then they determine the allocations according to not only what they are asking for, but where they see it fits best in.
13 organizations received funding. Some of the largest recipients were Big Brothers Big Sisters, who got $36,000 for in-school mentoring. $40,000 went to the Catholic Social Services. The Community Youth Centre received $20,000, and $50,000 went towards Midwest Family Connections for various programs. Sauer adds all organizations who applied this year received some amount of funding.